I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, I really don't.
Hi, I'm Johnny Gilbert with Stainless Diesel, and this individual right here is Stephen O'Neill with that beautiful face. You've probably seen him on some of our racing videos at the track, running around like a wild man when we go fast racing. Today we're going to talk about one of our new turbos, and this man right here has a lot of experience with the Ford stuff and first-hand knowledge and drivability, bolting stuff on. He's your guy, so he does turbo building here at the shop, and he also does sales. So any questions on some of this Ford stuff? Steve's your guy.
Okay. This is the new 6-liter variable bolt-on. 10-blade turbine, 63 millimeter cold side, compressor side. We've tested probably one of the first units, a personal excursion of mine I had for a lot of years. Bigger injectors, 195/75 injectors, had a thumper H-pop in it, and obviously supporting mods on the fuel system and a number of other features. But literally we ran it for probably a couple months, probably 5,000 to 10,000 miles. The turbo that we had on the truck previously to go to the drag strip and do a lot of drag racing with was also a 5-blade, but it was a non-variable 6674. We had two different housings on it, T491 and T483.
Yep.
Checking drive, checking a number of different readings, and that's where the 6-liter non-variable turbo stuff came from for Stainless Diesel. We did the variable bolt-on, didn't change anything, literally changed absolutely nothing. I had initially thought that the injector was a little tall for this particular unit, and actually it worked out really well. Truck did about 45 pounds of boost with this turbo on it. With the variable, it actually made more pressure than the non-variable unit. It made within 25 horsepower of the 66 millimeter unit.
That was the part that I was pretty surprised with.
Yeah.
With a 63 millimeter compressor and the way the variables, can really tighten up, get that spool up, get the torque curve a little fatter. I think the torque was a little fatter on that curve as well.
Yes.
So
made within 25 horsepower, actually made more horsepower when we sprayed it. There was no jet size, and most of the guys that know me know I'm pretty good about let's ghetto fog it and see how it does.
Yep.
So I was actually very surprised that it was within 25 horsepower. Heat was very maintainable. EGTs were probably the most surprising thing to me because I just really didn't see the variable support in that size injector. And most everybody's on the market's going to run a stage 1.5, stage 2 in that sizing. And some of the guys will say you can go to that size injector, but I mean, we towed with it, we drove it, we did everything we probably weren't supposed to do with it, and it just worked.
Yep.
Boost levels I was surprised at, drivability I was shocked at, everything just worked out really, really well. and it was an amazing setup.
Yep, so definitely a wild, streetable, drivable, towable, anything you want to do kind of deal, as opposed to going to like a T4 pedestal mount and then like a fixed geometry turbo.
Yes.
So
I ran T4 fixed geometry turbos for years and years and years on that truck. I probably had 6 or 7 different setups on it. And once I put the variable on, I literally, if I ever do another 6-liter, I will not do non-variable again. Not with units like this on the market, especially this one. It worked just amazing.
Nice. Well, we definitely have these available now at stainlessdiesel.com. You can get on there, check it out. If you got any questions on a particular setup, definitely call here, ask for Steve-O. One thing to think about is we do have these out there with gentlemen like running stock injectors that are amazed at how well they spool up and they drive. So Sam Smith, really good guy there, Carolina Diesel, down in that area. He builds a lot of transmissions. He plays with pretty much everything, and he's an ex big bad boy drag racer. So another good friend of mine. But he's actually tried this on a stock injector truck and couldn't believe how it drove. So I think that's a lot of different information there on, I guess, the largest injector you'd ever run with this thing, Steve.
Honestly, I probably would have pushed it a little bit more if I kept the vehicle, and that's something I didn't touch on. Like, obviously I went into injector size and fuel system supporting mods and $40,000 in parts. You don't need to have any of that to run this turbo. Buy it, bolt it on, stock injector, stock intake if you want, no tuning whatsoever. Whatever your setup is, it's going to work great. So that's the beauty of it. It will stretch you out pretty good in injector size, and no need to go to different piping, no need to go to different anything. It bolts right on and it goes.
Factory bolt on stuff.
Yep. So basically what we have here, like he brought up, this is going to be something that you may have to modify to put on the truck a little bit.
So there's an early model year 6-liter, and then there's like a later model year 6-liter.
Yes.
And there's 2 different brackets, styles, basically.
So the early model trucks would obviously use a bolt that would go into the housing in this direction, okay? This one is set up for the late model pedestal, okay? So if you have an early model pedestal, you can probably find a used pedestal. You can modify what you have. Most guys won't even use the rear bolt. I mean, naughty, but probably about 90% of the trucks I've ever worked on that have some miles on them don't even have that bolt in them because so many people change so many turbos around. So it's an easy modification. Like I said,
yep, just a directional change on that
on the
portion
bolt
right there.
Yep.
So,
you may have to trim the pedestal a little bit to get it to fit into the pedestal. It's not a big deal.
So that's early model to late model.
Yes.
Yep.
So this will have the late model housing on it with the downward facing rear bolt. The early model pedestals, obviously, it's horizontal essentially is how it works.
Yep. A little different mounting. Well, good deal. There you go. If you guys like this kind of content, want to see some more, have any great questions for Steve-O, let us know. Drop some comments. Be happy to help.
Yeah.
It's all right. Looking good. So, with different housings, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
We might have ought to said something about the polish is an option. It's not standard on this unit.
That's probably a good idea.
So this glorious, shiny addition to the standard turbo is not standard, but it is an option. If you'd like to get polished, we can do that. And the fingerprints are definitely extra. That's something you'd have to talk about Steve. He likes, fingerprinting stuff up and stuff like that.
Straight adds value. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's custom right there. That
Absolutely.
Part,
CS.
That's all about the custom right there. So.
CS, man. Custom shit.
No.